Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Round of applause. So, as you can see from the title today guys, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I kind of felt inspired to make this video based off a video that I saw somebody else make. I'm not sure exactly who it was that came to my mind. I'll probably end up editing this and putting who the person was in the video, but I saw them do a rundown on this topic and talking about Megan, her music, and it just made me think that I would like to give my perspective as someone who is a fan of her and has been a fan for a long time. And also just considering the landscape as well and the conversation that's been happening in relation to Megan's career right now and her music and just what a lot of people have been thinking. So I thought, let me give my 2 cents. So we're going to have a conversation today. We're going to have a conversation about Megan Thee Stallion and how a lot of people feel like she is in her flop era recently, and basically just talking about my opinions on it, whether I think she's in her flop era, things that I think that she could improve upon, just my general thoughts on the topic in general, and also why I think these critiques are coming, what I think about some of these critiques. But yeah, we're gonna get into all of it. Before I get into this video, make sure that you guys like the video if you enjoyed today's video. If you want me to do more deep dives on people's discographies, or even talking about like discourse related to any sort of celebrities or whatever that you want me to talk about, I can do that too. So just let me know down below, like the video so that I know you lot enjoyed this video. Also, if you're new to my channel, subscribe, turn on post notifications so that you don't miss any of my uploads. You can check out my channel as well to see all my other videos if this video intrigues you, and yeah, you can just get a feel for my content, all of that. So for this video, I decided I wanted to do not really like proper makeup. I really am just gonna do like a kind of clean girl look, or just something simple. It's not gonna be too much, but I wanted to like do something, have something in my hand like to be doing while I'm doing this video, so it's not that I'm just like sitting here talking and like doing nothing. I feel like multitasking helps me like keep my thoughts running. So first off, for the first segment, we're just going to talk about the general criticisms and why people what people have been talking about in relation to Megan lately. So right now, a lot of people feel like Megan's music has been stagnant, or they feel like she isn't progressing, or she's not making any sorts of evolution in her music. People have been levying the criticism that she just sounds the same on every song. That seems to be what I've seen most, and seen what most people are saying. Most people think that she sounds the same on each one of her songs, and this particularly stemmed from the release of her new single, Whenever. Now, I'm gonna say personally also, let me just give a disclaimer now as well. Everything that I'm gonna say in this video is coming from the perspective of someone who's a big fan of Megan. I've been a fan of her since Fever. Like, I love this woman like a lot. Like, she's literally one of my favorite artists, like, period. Like, she's been in my like top listened to artist like every year since like 2020. Do you know what I mean? So she is one of my favorite artists. Everything that I'm gonna say is constructive criticism. If there is any criticism, it's gonna be constructive. None of it is meant to be malicious. It's coming from a place of love, not as a way to try and tear her down or anything. I don't want the comment section either, or like I don't know if this video is gonna do well or anything or get loads of visibility, but if it does, I don't want this video to like set a precedent to like drag her in the comment section or anything, because that's not what this is. I want to have a genuine conversation, because I feel like a lot of the conversation that's happening right now is very disingenuous and is full of a lot of people who are kind of just circle jerking about the fact that they don't like her. And also considering the internet and what's been going on lately in terms of the resurgence of the 2020 incident where she got shot, and people rehashing that conversation. I know the internet right now probably isn't great for Megan, so I'm not trying to add anything to that. It's genuinely just a conversation for us to have, people who are fans of her, hotties, whatever. It's meant to be constructive. That's just what I wanted to make it clear. But yeah, basically a lot of people have just been feeling like she sounds the same on every song, and this stemmed from her release of her song Whenever. So I actually was excited when I had heard about Whenever dropping. I was excited because I'm always excited and tuned in for new Megan music. And from the little snippet or whatever that she had dropped for like anticipation leading up to the album, honestly, like majority of the hotties, this was back when I was on Twitter as well. I've deleted the app now, but back when I was on Twitter, a lot of the hotties, we were trying to like decipher or like guess what the theme of the song was gonna be, but we couldn't really tell. Like, you know, there was a fish and everything, but we didn't know what the fish meant. We didn't really understand what it was. I still don't get it either. I'm sure some hotties have probably made threads or like stuff breaking down what exactly it means, but we couldn't really get like what's it, concrete like theme or I guess a message for the music video. So it was kind of just like, you know, a bit up in the air. So everyone was kind of just waiting until the video came out until we could see. But there was a lot of conversation in terms of like hottie social media, like particularly hottie Twitter, where a lot of people were worried about how the song was going to perform. And I unfortunately did have these thoughts also. Now, I just want to make this clear as well. I'm not one of these like fans or stans or whatever who is like crazy obsessed with numbers and like how well a song performs, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm still going to stream the song, right? Like a lot of people say like whenever it's a flop, they don't like it because the song didn't perform that well or it didn't chart. But like at the end of the day, I'm still gonna bump that song if I think it's good and I like the song, so I'm still gonna bump it. Do you get it? I was concerned to a certain extent how well the song was gonna do. And this was particularly due to Megan's issues with promo. And that's that's one of the main things I want to speak about in this video first. I think in relation to, and this was actually something, well, Megan herself didn't actually talk about it, but she did do a live stream where she was talking about the fact that she basically said that something between her and the hotties has to change. And by that, she was talking about the reception that Whenever had gotten. Because when it came out, a lot of hotties on the TL, at least when I was back on Twitter, a lot of hotties on the TL didn't like the song. They were kind of saying, yeah, the chorus or the hook isn't for me, you know, this song is a flop. They just weren't saying very positive things. Obviously it wasn't all hotties. There were hotties who did appreciate and like the song, but there were quite a few. They were kind of doing the same thing that they did with Boa. This like thing of saying that the song is trash when it first comes out, and then months later, which is again something that the hotties love doing, which really pisses me off. It's like this thing of saying that the song is trash when it's fresh and new, and then months later you say actually it deserved so much better and it should have been a smash hit. And it's like, well, it may have been a smash hit if you actually streamed it and, you know, didn't listen to it once and then kind of just disposed of it or discarded it like it never was there. But I feel like a lot of hotties in general, that is how they treat Megan's music. And it's like you don't sit with the song long enough. Like you listen to it the first time when it releases, and if it doesn't immediately resonate with you, you kind of just let it go from there. Like they don't give it time to marinate at all. They don't like to sit with the song. So a lot of people were saying that they didn't like the song. I personally disagree. I liked the song. Did I think the hook was the best? No. But I didn't understand the criticisms of people saying that like this song isn't it. Like it was a decent song. It's also it's pretty typical for Megan because some people were saying they were expecting something different, and I get it to a certain extent that people do want her to experiment, but it's like at the same time, what exactly is it that you want from her? Because I think that is another thing that I've also noticed that has kind of just irritated me about this conversation, is that a lot of hotties kind of just give themselves and also Megan whiplash, because it goes from you sound the same, we need a different type of flow. She gives a different type of flow. Then they say, well, I don't know if I like this one. You might need to reheat your nachos. Then it goes to, oh, but actually it's the cadence, you know, the voice. You need to change up the voice. Then she changes up the voice and people start saying that she's sounding like Doja, or she's trying to bite off of Nicki or Doechie's flow. So it's like, no matter what she does, people will still have something to say. That's why I'm like, to a certain extent, I feel like Megan needs to kind of stop listening to the hotties. Like, you kind of need to stop listening to these overly critical hotties who don't actually appreciate a lot of the shit that you do. Like, a lot of the hotties, like particularly on Twitter, they just do not appreciate anything that this woman does. they would tear whatever she does to shreds for no reason. And it's like, as someone who claims that you're her, like someone who claims that you're her fan, right? You are like one of her biggest ops. Honestly, why does she even need haters and people who criticize her so much when her own fans will do that, you know? Like, they will do that in abundance. I completely would understand why she would get on live and then say something needs to change between us, because it's like, you lot just be talking to me anyhow. It's like, at the end of the day, yeah, I'm you lot's favorite artist. It's like, at the same time, you still have to treat me like I'm human. You have to treat me with dignity, speak to me like I'm actually a person. But it's like, so many hotties don't even do that. It's like they just treat her like, I don't know, they just talk to her anyhow, and it's quite crazy. Getting into that whole conversation as well with the whenever thing, because there were a lot of people who were trying to misconstrue it as, oh, Megan was on live upset about the fact that the song flopped. That wasn't what she was upset about. She was upset about the fact that hotties were just talking anyhow about the song and were saying anything about her. I think she even made a tweet back on Twitter where she was like, some hotties just say anything, because it's like, literally, some of these hotties be talking to her like they're her best friend or something, or like they know her in real life. It's like, that woman is still a stranger. Like, you don't know her. So don't talk to her like she's one of your little friends. But yeah, that whole thing with the whenever single kind of sparked the start of this conversation. It was already kind of a conversation that was brewing amongst like her detractors, but it started, I guess, getting more mainstream attention once whenever dropped. And whenever unfortunately failed to chart on the Billboard, was it Billboard Hot 100? Yeah, it failed to chart there. I think it went like number one or number two on Bubbling Under. But yeah, it didn't chart, so the song just didn't perform that well. And I don't know, personally, I felt like it wasn't really shocking the way the song performed. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to. I was thinking maybe it would get like 98 or like something on the Billboard. But yeah, Bubbling Under. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's obviously not great either. And I think the one of the main reasons why that happened is because of the promo. And that's the next thing that I want to talk about. I think Megan, when it comes to her promo, is just, it's not there. And speaking as someone who's been a long time fan of her, Megan has never really had like a proper or like good rollout before, like for her albums. Yeah, a lot of the time there's just not really proper anticipation. I feel like the only time I've actually seen her kind of execute that well was with Megan Act 1. I feel like the lead up from Cobra and Hiss, and then, you know, her teasing like the album, you know, the visuals, all of that, I think it was going really well. And I really liked the fact that she had like a theme going into this album too, like for Act 1. You know, she had the whole snake thing from Hiss, Cobra. Like, I was excited, right? Because I was like, oh, she's like got a vision. She's got like her theme going on for this album. So I thought that the rollout and everything was really good. And, you know, some people are mocking the sales for Act 1. I personally think that Act 1 performed all right. I thought it did well. And I think that it did decently because of the fact that there was actually good promo, and also people actually wanted to see what's tea from Megan Thee Stallion. But I feel like now, I don't know. I think when it comes to the promo, Megan has kind of just, I don't know. I don't know if it's like it's treated like an afterthought, but I just feel like it has kind of been this attitude, and it's not even only just her. I think a lot of artists are doing it in general, where they're just kind of doing this thing of, oh, I'll just drop it whenever, and you know, the fans will tune in regardless, and then it will do numbers. That doesn't really work. And I'm gonna say, especially in this day and age as well, where we have social media, songs are constantly going viral on TikTok, you know, that like these labels and like even just people themselves, they're always looking for like the next big thing. So it's like, you cannot, like, if you're not someone who's a streaming force, right, you cannot just be dropping music here and like willy-nilly. Like, you can't do that. You just can't afford to do that. Like, majority of your stuff will flop if you don't promote properly. And I feel like Megan just fails in that category of promoting, unfortunately. I feel like, especially in her lead up to Act 2, and this is another thing that I kind of had a gripe with going into Act 2 because I obviously have tuned in for both albums. I was tuned in for both. But I felt like Megan had moved on so quickly onto Act 2. I feel like she didn't allow Megan, like the first act, to really sit with the audience like that. Like I feel like it was so quickly that she moved on to Act 2. Like by October, Act 2 came and it's like we didn't even really get time to have other songs on the album apart from Mamushi like become popular. And at the end of the day, I get it. Megan can't control what songs go like most popular or viral, but it's like at the same time, I wish that she would have given other songs a bit more promotion. Apart from that one TikTok that she made where she did the Mamushi dance, I don't feel like she really did anything else like to promote these songs apart from the Mamushi music video. And I think, you know, the VMA performance, she did perform some other songs too. But I just wish that other songs, like, you know, for example, Otaku Hot Girl, I feel like that could have had a music video. That definitely could have had a music video. And in relation to the theme stuff, I feel like Megan has a continuity issue. This is just personally my opinion, yeah. I'm saying this as someone who, you know, I liked Act 2, I liked Act 1 also. I liked both albums. I think that with Act 1, there were some continuity issues. And I say that because I don't know if some people remember, but when she first was teasing Act 2 and like the album cover, the original album cover came out, it was like a picture of Megan upside down in a cocoon, like a butterfly cocoon. And it was like a big M on the album cover. And most people didn't like it. The hotties were telling Megan, this picture ain't it. Like, you need to pick something else. That's how we got the alternative one where she is coming out of the snake egg, which was much better. But I was personally very perplexed when I saw that picture, when I saw that album cover, because I was like, I thought we were going for a snake theme. I thought we were going for a snake theme, and I'm seeing a butterfly, like her in a butterfly cocoon. It just felt like to me, it's like, where's the continuity at? Why are we doing butterfly cocoons? Like, I was just very confused. I was like, I thought we were going with a snake theme. And it's like, even throughout the album as well, you've got other songs there like Boa, Figueroa. Like, these are like names that connote to snakes, even Rattle. Like, this is snake theme. Like, you're going with a snake theme. So it's like, why don't you continue with that instead of kind of slowly forgetting about like the theme or story that you were trying to tell? Because based upon the promo and even like the Cobra music video, I was really expecting that like this era, right, for Act 2 and the album specifically, was going to be like, it was really going to be an album and like a project about Megan going through, you know, this transformation and her kind of reaching on like unlocking this new potential within herself, yeah, you know, at least artistically. So it's like I was expecting, okay, we're gonna get like a lot of snake themed, snake related stuff. You know, we're gonna see like songs that are kind of related to her evolution and her growth and transformation. And then it's like you listen to the album, and while yes, it is good, trust me, there are plenty of songs on Act 2 that I love. Like, they're really good. But do I think these songs fit the theme or whatever that she was trying to go for? At least when she first dropped Cobra, even Hiss, like, does it match the theme? I'm not sure. Like, I feel like songs like Rattle, even Figueroa, like, those are songs that match the theme and like the story of where she was going with this album. But I feel like other songs, even though I love this song, right, I love Both Ain't Shit, like that song, like it slaps. I listen to that song regularly. Does that song match the vibe or like the theme for the album that we thought was going to be the theme? No. And I think for me, that is the problem. Just the continuity and whatever like storytelling is that she's trying to go for in the album is very up and down. And I think for me, that is why some people who aren't hotties necessarily, because I feel like as a hottie, when I was listening to the album, I was kind of just listening to see like, does this just sound good? Like, does this sound good? Is there replay value? And for the most part, I felt like that was a yes. So that's why I like the album. But if I'm talking in terms of actually like a proper body of work, right? Do I think that it's very cohesive? No. And that makes me upset to say, because this is your self-titled album. This is your self-titled album. Like, the album was called Megan. So it's like, this should be like your most, like, this should be one of your most career defining like projects. But I just feel like personally, I don't know, it wasn't as, it just wasn't exactly what I would have expected. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do think it's something to consider. I think that just in terms of the artisticness from Megan, I think that it is still lacking. And the thing is, I don't think that she's incapable of it at all, because we've seen music videos like Boa. Like, this woman is giving the, like, literally the best visuals in female rap right now. Like, literally, the music videos, the visuals that she's giving are fantastic. Like, the Whenever music video was great. Like, the visuals stunning. Like, do you know what I mean? She has these visions. She has this idea that she wants to portray. Even the Mamushi music video was fantastic. Like, great visuals. So it's like that artisticness or whatever, it is there. Like, you are creative. Like, you have that artistic nature within you. Why is it not translating into the music? That's for me. I'm like, I wish the feeling that you get when you watch her music videos would be like consistent throughout her album, but it's not. And that's a problem for me. I think like that's where the problem is, I guess, or at least if I'm speaking in terms of like giving constructive criticism, I think that artisticness and, you know, seeing you know, her albums actually feeling like an era, I feel like it lacks because of that. There's not this artisticness that you see in her music videos. And I feel like, I don't know if it's just a stylistic choice that Megan makes, but I feel like she has the ability to storytell. She has the ability to say something that she has the ability to say something that is like reckoning, something that actually will stick with you, something that you could like, she gives you something that you can chew on. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's substance, but I feel like sometimes the substance, it goes in and out. Like, sometimes she'll give it to you, and then other times it's like, no, this is just like a fun song that's, you know, just me rapping bars. And it's like, yes, give us bars, but also at the same time, like, make it, like, let the bars make sense. Do you know what I mean? Let it actually make sense for where this song is placed and like where it is. Because I won't lie, there are some songs on Act 1 which I just think didn't need to be there, in terms of the snake theme and, you know, this transformation and, you know, her going through like this, you know, her shedding her skin and kind of rejuvenating herself. I don't think some songs in the album really convey that message, and that's for me where I feel like the continuity problem lies. There's a continuity problem, and it's not necessarily a huge issue for me in terms of being able to enjoy the album, but I'm just saying in terms of actually having, you know, this like great discography and, you know, defining discography, I think that is something important that like needs to be considered, right, as an artist. And I just think that Megan, she's more than capable of doing it, but I just think she hasn't tapped into it yet. And I think that is something for me that I could say is a criticism that I have. It's not even a malicious thing or a mean thing either. It's just generally something that I've noticed, that I've thought that's something that could be refined. And now going back to the part of her moving on too quickly, I think that when it came to Act 1 as well, I think the rollout, everything was good. And then, you know, Mamushi organically took off, it became a hit. I feel like there could have been more time to cook, and I think Megan could have also done a bit more promotion for other songs in the album. Like, I get you'll perform Mamushi and things because it's popular, but I feel like even on her tour, right, and I'm saying this as someone who went on her tour, I went to her London show, I do feel like there were missed opportunities to perform some Act 1 songs. Like when I first heard about the tour and I got my tickets, I was very excited. I was like, yeah, we're gonna hear all the Act One songs like live. We're gonna hear so many live. And granted, I was glad that I was able to hear some of her old hits like, you know, Cognac Queen, Big Ol' Freak, all of that. I was happy that we got to hear those songs live too, but I was like, it would have been nice to be able to hear some Act One songs live too, because if you think about it, Coachella, like her Coachella performance, which was fantastic by the way, her Coachella performance was like the first time that like some of these Act One songs have ever been performed live. And I think to me that's crazy. It's like, why is this the first time that you're performing sorry, what song was it that she performed? Why, like, I don't even, was it Act One or actually Act Two? I think it was Act Two specifically. This is like the first time that you're performing some of these Act Two songs live, and I think that's crazy. She went on the, I think she went on the Jimmy Fallon show to promote, did she go on the Fallon show to promote Act One or Act Two? I don't even remember. But it's like, there's been multiple chances, right, where like, you could have performed these songs live to like build more buzz, but she just never did. I also think on social media as well, like, I don't know, like when you're doing these vlogs, because she does do these like little TikTok vlogs where she'll like review food or just like show a day in her life. And like, use your songs that people, you know, aren't paying attention to as much on the album. Use those songs and promote those. Like, do that, build more buzz around those songs, like get them to have more visibility. I think that's like a good method. Like, when I think about artists that do really good promotion, like Cat's Eye is a group or like artist that immediately comes to my mind. Like, them girls, they will promote until like there's no end. Like, if you haven't heard Gnarly at this point, you must be living under a rock. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like with Megan, she kind of just waits until songs like organically take off. And I don't know, I feel like sometimes it doesn't always work. Like, I feel like with Mamushi, it was kind of obvious because it was, you know, catchy, fun, and there was a dance to it, so that's like why it went viral. But I feel like there are other songs on the album, like especially with Act 2, like it is so irritating for me as a fan as well. Act 2 is genuinely like one of the best projects. Like, it's got some of the best songs that Megan has dropped ever. Like, seriously. And she just doesn't promote these songs. She does not promote these songs, and it's crazy. Like, I can't remember if I actually said this ever, like, I think I've commented it on like TikToks before, something like that. But the fact that Megan, right, on Act 2, she dropped Bourbon. What else is on there? Right Now. You've got Bourbon and Right Now on one album, and you're telling me no promotion. Like, you've not tried promoting those songs at all. And you know the funniest thing about Right Now is as well, like, that became like a kind of mini TikTok trend. Like, it got a little bit of motion, and Megan had already moved on from the Act 2 era, so she couldn't even really take advantage of the fact that that was going popular. And it ties into again this thing of her being too quick to move on. She moves on too quickly, and it's kind of annoying sometimes because it's like, give it time to cook. Give it time to cook, because she's already said that she's not planning to drop another album this year. So she'll probably just be dropping singles here and there, but it's like, we could have actually stretched this time out a lot longer. Like, honestly, Act 2 should have come out like maybe, if we're talking in terms of right now, if we're speaking from right now, Act 2 should have dropped like 2 months ago. Like, I don't even think it should have come out last year. That's my personal opinion. I don't think it should have come out last year. I think Act 1 should have been able to have 2024, and then 2025 should have had Act 2. That's just my personal opinion. And then you could have left Act 3 to 2026 or whenever. I just personally feel like that's what would have made the most sense. And I feel like this tendency that she has to move on too quickly works against her sometimes, because it's like, you'll have a song that will end up going viral from like this album or whatever, and it's like you can't even take advantage of that, like, and use it to build momentum because you've already moved on to like the next thing. And I mean, I get it, yeah, Megan is a busy woman. She's got her her swimwear and all that to promote. She's got her drink, her Chica's thing to promote to. She's also opening a Popeyes restaurant. Like, she's got a lot of things going on, but I just wish like you would have given that more time to cook, because there's too much material on Act 2 for it to not be going viral. And it really irritates me because a big part of this criticism towards her is that all her music sounds the same, right? But it's like there are multiple songs on Act 2 that if you listen to, there's no song in her discography that hits as hard as that one. Like, anyone who thinks that Megan's music sounds the same, just go and listen to Bourbon. That's it. That's all I have to tell you. Go and listen to Bourbon and tell me which song you've heard specifically where she raps and has the same beat as that song. Because I'm telling you, if that song became more popular, yeah, if more people knew about that song, less people would be saying that. Like, the narrative really could be changed, but these songs just, they're not given enough time to go to the places they need to go. And it's really a shame, because it's like you're dropping literal heat here and you're just paying it dust. And this leads into my next issue, which is her single choices. Because with her single choices, right, and specifically for Act 2, because with Act 1 I get it, Mamushi, obviously she would do a music video for that one because it's the most popular. But in reference to Act 2, right, she chose to do a music video for Bigger in Texas, which I agree, Bigger in Texas, that was a great song. I actually do think that song should have been more popular, because that's like one of the best songs that she's released in her career also. But her picking to do Rock Steady to do a music video to, I just personally think that that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Rock Steady just is not one of the strongest songs on the album. It is one of the weakest songs on the album. That's just my personal opinion. I get it, she collabed with Flo Milli on that song. You know, they were both in the music video. It was a cute moment. But I just personally think Right Now should have gone a music video. Or even, unpopular opinion, TYG, Test Your Gangster, whatever. That song should have gone a music video. And again, Megan, that song is her experimenting with rock sound, right? Literally giving people like what they've been wanting, like, oh, Megan can't do nothing else, or she does the same thing. That's literally her doing something different, and she's paying it dust. She's paying it dust, and that irritates me. Like, Coachella was the first time that she ever performed TYG live, which is just insane. Like, really? Like, do you know what I mean? And it's just like the fact that on social media as well, there was little to no promo for Act 2, period. Like, she kind of posted like a little 1-2 posts here and there for the hotties to know that was coming out on Instagram and Twitter. But I'm sorry, unless you're like Beyonce, yeah, posting an Instagram post, yeah, my album is dropping, is not enough. I'm so sorry. Like, you are not, like, none of you, these artists are streaming forces yet. You lot are not streaming forces. You are not too stush for promo. Like, you can promote. You can promote. It's okay to do that. So I just feel like when it comes to Megan, like, I don't know, she really just does like an Instagram post for, oh, my album is coming, and then like that's kind of it. And then after that, we'll be lucky if we get anything else from her in terms of hearing about the album. Like, she'll probably just end up doing like maybe one TikTok using a sound or something like that, and that's if the song goes viral. But I feel like it really wouldn't hurt to do some promotion for some of these songs. And also, I just think taking advantage of performing these songs live, building hype, things like that, things that she should be doing more. Things that she should be doing more. I just think it's crazy at Coachella. Like, this is the first time that I'm hearing TYG live. Like, it's crazy that this is the first time I'm hearing that song live. The fact that she's never performed Right Now live as well, crazy. That is one of your best songs. You haven't performed it live. Like, do you get what I mean? It's like, it's a reoccurring problem that I have where it's like your best work is not being put at the forefront. I don't know who was the person who told her that they should do a rock steady music video, but you must hate her. I'm sorry, you must hate her, because once that music video dropped, yeah, I was seeing like hate tweets of people talking about, ugh, like, this is what female rap is now. It's just the same boring stuff, and I was just like, ugh. I couldn't even really like think of a defense. Yeah, I couldn't even really disagree, because it's like, well, when this is what Megan is choosing to put at the forefront, of course this is what people are gonna think. This is what your forte is. This is all you do. When it's like she's literally not just doing this. She doesn't give enough attention to like the new and innovative stuff that she's doing in her career. And I think it just works against her. I think she just needs to pick better single choices, if I'm being honest. The single choices that she picks are just sometimes not it. I feel like with Act 1, they were good single choices. Act 2, it kind of fell off. I feel like Bigger in Texas was a good opportunity. Yeah, Rocksteady though, it shouldn't have been that one. Right Now or TYG should have gotten a music video. That's just my personal opinion. And now moving on to my last part about why I think a lot of the criticisms about her sounding the same and that she does nothing different are disingenuous, because this is not only just directed towards the hotties but also just people who are just general music listeners. I think a lot of people also as well, they don't like when Megan does different stuff. Like when she does do different stuff, they will criticize it and they will say it's trash. So it's like, if you hear like songs like TYG or Cobra and you say that it's trash, she should never do this again, or if she tries to do some type of pop R&B, like, you know, Spin or Best Friend, and you're saying both of those are trash too, then it gets to a point where it's just like, what exactly is it do you want from her? What exactly do you want from her? Because it just sounds like now you will complain about anything that she does, because you don't seem to be satisfied with like any new thing that she tries her hand at. And I feel like that is how a lot of hotties are operating at the moment. A lot of hotties either tell her reheat your nachos, or they say do a different thing. She does a different thing, they don't like it. She reheats the nachos, they say, oh, this is kind of the same stuff though. It's like, that's the thing, a lot of hotties as well were complaining about Act 2 being like too fun or upbeat, and they thought that there would be like more disses towards people like Nicki Minaj, Drake or whatever. I guess they just thought that would be more like of a beef album, like there'll be more beef centered at the focus of it. But it's like, you had to pay attention to the promo and what she was saying about the album leading up to it. She was very clear about the fact that this album was going to be about her and her rejuvenating herself. It was not going to be about, you know, clapping back at people. Like, obviously, yes, she will say her piece, but it's like, it's not an album about responding to beef. Do you get it? Like, that's not what it is. But I feel like a lot of people also expected that from her. And I feel like just in general, when it comes to the expectations for Megan Thee Stallion, it's just kind of all over the place. It's like, people somehow have these really high expectations of her, even though they claim she's a flop, she can't rap, she's not talented, she's this, she's that, I don't like her, she's trash, da da. But you somehow still have these really high expectations for her. You expect her to do these really big numbers, or you expect her to come with heat. And then it's like every time that she doesn't reach these expectations you have, you say she's trash, da da da, all this stuff. And it's just like, to me, it doesn't make sense, because it's like, if you already have this expectation, right, in your head that Megan Thee Stallion doesn't deliver, she's not, you know, good to you, whatever, then why would you still be expecting that, like, I don't know, that she's gonna do something completely different to what you've been expecting this entire time? To me, that's just what it gives. These people, I don't know, they have this weird expectation of her, even though they don't like her, and they would like die on the hill that she's like the worst rapper ever. It's just like, to me, it doesn't make sense. You cannot say someone is a terrible rapper, they're a flop, all these things, but somehow expect them to not do flop numbers or to not give trash music. Like, do you get it? But I feel like that's how a lot of people view Megan, and it's pretty weird. But as I was saying, in relation to Megan, I just feel like the expectations that some people have for her just don't make sense. Because I'm saying this as a fan, right? It's not even a dig at Megan, but like, Megan has never been like this extreme like streaming force, right? She's never really immediately dropped a song and like is done numbers out of the gate. Like, a lot of her songs that are hits that have become really popular, they had to progressively like get popular, right? And I feel like a lot of Megan's music is actually grower music, where you actually keep listening to it and you come back to it, and the more you listen to it, the better it gets. Like, that's how I feel about a lot of her music. But I feel like a lot of people in general, they've kind of just already made their minds up about her, and it's like, it doesn't matter what she does, it won't be enough. Like, they've decided in their heads that they don't like her, She will never be any better than whatever she is in their heads. And I think also in terms of her subject matter, I do agree with the people who are like, yeah, you could rap about different topics, right? Because she does rap about different topics. And I do get some criticism, like a lot of people have criticized Cobra for like the This Pussy Depressed lyric, because I mean I do get it. It didn't really need to be in there. But I also feel like at the same time, a lot of people pay dust to her songs where she's not rapping about that type of stuff. Like, for example, Traumazine, that whole album is full of songs where she's not talking about Punani. But it's like people have paid the album dust. They don't acknowledge it when they're having these conversations about, oh, everything she does sounds the same. It's like, well, actually, if you would look into her discography and like look at other songs, you would realize that's really not the case at all. Like, she raps about different stuff. But let these people tell it. She just raps about her pum pum and having money all the time, when that's not what she does. And it's like, at the end of the day as well, like, people have to remember that is part of Megan's signature, and also just in terms of rap in general. That's normal. Like, rappers rap, they are braggadocious. That's part of like their personas, that's part of their appeal. They're braggadocious in their nature. That like they are egotistical. Like, that's part of it. Do you know what I mean? Part of her image, you know, even her alter ego, Tina Snow, braggadocious, like very egotistical. That's the point. Do you know what I mean? So expecting that to not be like a core pillar of her rapping is crazy. Like, that is who she is. Like, do you know what I mean? Megan the Stallion, that is who she is. She's a stallion. She's that girl. She's sexy. She's got money. She's a pimp. She's all of these things. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the point. She's good. Like, she will be braggadocious. Like, that's just part of the appeal. So I don't get people who expect her to just completely throw away that element of her music. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would she stop doing that in her music when that's like one of the main things that made her famous? Like, her music makes you feel good. It makes you feel confident. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why would she stop doing that? I do think, however, to a certain extent, though, Megan could get better at her storytelling, I guess. And also be more creative with her bars. I do think that in terms of like the new rap girls right now, she is one of the ones giving the most interesting bars, right? Like, she's very clever with her bars. But I do think in terms of like talking about sex and, you know, her genitalia, things like that, she could be, I guess, a bit more creative about it. Or, you know, use metaphors or be less obvious with it. Like, I know there's a lot of songs in general that we grew up with, right, that were actually songs that were sexual in nature, but because of the metaphors and everything that they use, we didn't actually know they were sexual, right? We just heard this song and we thought it's a hit, it's a good song. Like, I feel like Megan could tap into that more. I also think that she could really get back into her bag as well. Not to necessarily say that she needs to reheat her nachos, right? Because I'm also happy with like the flow and like cadence that she's doing now, and also like the new stuff that she's incorporating into her music. I'm happy with that stuff too. But I also don't think it would hurt to kind of do that the melodic rap that she used to do, like, you know, Cognac Queen and stuff like that. I don't think it would hurt for her to try and do songs like that too, and also like go back into that bag. That's all I have to say really on Megan, her career, her music, everything. That's just my personal opinions as a fan. That's just all I wanted to say, really give my thoughts. I think where Megan is at right now, she's doing fine, honestly, to me. I think she's doing fine. I think because she's not, you know, coming out swinging out the gate, you know, knocking it out of the park with numbers, I think people are just quick to say she's flopped, she flopped. This woman is here to stay. She's here to stay. She will be fine. I'm pretty sure once she drops Act 3, there'll be conversation back around her name. You lot are always talking about her in general. Anyways, this girl is always the topic of conversation. People don't shut up about her. So in what world would Megan Thee Stallion not be famous? Like, people who are trying to say that, oh, she's gonna fade into irrelevancy and all of that, delusional. Like, I'm sorry, people love talking about this woman, whether they hate her or they love her. She's always the topic of conversation. So I'm sure once she drops music as well, people will be talking about it too. even her haters be tuned in for all her songs. So it's like, yeah, let's just not do like the most with all of our let's not be dramatic and illogical in our criticisms or whatever. Like, actually at least try to make sense or sound logical in what you're talking about. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about this topic. I hope you enjoyed. As I said before, if you enjoyed this video, you want me to do more videos like this of me doing my makeup and talking, like the video. Let me know down below if you've got any other video suggestions for me also. And yeah, I think that's it. But I will see you guys in my next video next week. Bye.